Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Patrons video that I make for Jacob as part of their custom monthly music review. And if we switch over to here, we have Jeff Buckley with the track Hallelujah, live in France. Now, I've listened to this track before. It'll be interesting to hear Jeff Buckley's live take of it. We're going to listen through it from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, what do we got?
About 2 days ago, I woke up in Australia.
Kind of morbid
I
sounding.
saw the bomb go off, and I felt sad that the French government had joined a long list of fools who insist on sending death sentences to the earth. This is for all the people who know that the only good place for a nuclear bomb is in the garbage dismantled.
Strong statements.
This is for Leonard, wherever you are. And this is for
I mean, I
Nelson.
agree, but strong statements, you know?
I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah.
I mean, like his really elegant finger style, the arpeggios are treated nicely. There's a vulnerability to it, along with softness of the vibratos of the vocals, but Jeff is completely handling it. I think everything's really well connected.
Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. And she
Great use of
tied you
ornamentation
to
there.
her kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair, but from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
I mean, it's tremendous vocal technique to get it, that kind of vibrato at that relative quietness.
Yeah, well, baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. Yes, I used to live alone before I knew you. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch. And love is not some victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah.
Great use of the head voice there. Nice switch up. I mean, the ABAB is just so effective here, you know?
Well, there was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, do you? Well, remember when I moved in you, and the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah.
Gorgeous guitar part as well, really. With the way the bass notes and... oh! Wasn't expecting this. I actually don't think I've listened to this before, so it's nice to hear an alternate take on it. I don't know if that's in the original or not, or... It's very uneasy sounding to reflect the heaviness of what's been communicated.
Maybe there is a God above, but all we've ever learned from love was how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. And it's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Variation to double time. Or, you know. Speeding up the arpeggios in the right hand to mirror the tension of the held note. Natural harmonics to boot. Alright, I think it was a good effort. I don't know if that was what people were wanting me to say about it. We'll go to the conclusion in a moment, but just... I think it's a great effort. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Jeff Buckley. I know, what's the originals from like Leonard Cohen or something like that. Jeff Buckley's version of Hallelujah, the live version. Now, what do I think this song is about? Now, to be fair, I should know that Jacob kind of gave me a bit of a prompt about some of the information behind the track before we got started. But if I listen to the lyrics, I could kind of sort of figure that out as well. So it's good to have the affirmation in advance and also within the track, because it's not I don't think it's a hymn to God. I don't think it's like a celebration of Hallelujah in a literal sense. I do kind of hear that we're kind of questioning our faith and there's a bit of doubt there and a little bit of uncertainty with it. With like the David and Samson with the cutting the hair or something like that. You know, there's a bit going on there, a bit of theology, a little bit of extra sort of nuance there with the storytelling. I think it's a great story. It's nice to have the to and fro, the direct conversation with you, whoever that was initially sort of aimed at. But I think what, you know, Jeff Buckley does differently here, potentially from the original, is not only the fact that we have those uncomfortable chords that were hinted at the start, but then kind of mirrored back in and articulated, sort of inserted at that halfway point there, to kind of mirror a sense of general unease with the situation we were describing. But it was also just the fact that we had these really interesting voicings of these notes. It wasn't just that we could sing well, the actual way we emoted in the performance was incredibly intimate. We not only had this really kind of quiet vibrato for a lot of the time, legato kind of thing going on, we were very keen to explore our head and chest voice in a way that was memorable. We didn't stay on one idea for too long. You know, we had the core sort of melody in the verse and chorus parts that was kind of so easily identifiable and so, you know, trademark of the Hallelujah track, but we kind of separated ourselves from that, went a little bit sort of like this, and it was to diminish or something like that later on, or some sort of unconventional chord shapings there. And I think that reflected, again, more literally the uncertainty there, the doubt, and we just branched between those incredibly smoothly. There was a lot of character and personality within it. I think Jeff Buckley made it his own. It was solid vocal technique and hidden choice with the falsetto parts as well. It's an incredible live take and it's very well polished, and I think that we knew the drama we were creating, especially near the end with those held notes, and Jeff handled the stage like a star. The guitar playing was the accompaniment over the 6 minutes. Across the range of the track with like 4 or 5 different verse stanzas with the hallelujah part going back to that refrain. And then other sort of instrumental sort of parts where we had like the kind of guitar arpeggios, but mostly there were vocals that were focused on the vocals. The guitar playing was very pretty. We had a really acute sense of, I think we had a capo on one of the frets, like the 7th or the 5th or something like that. And what that does is bring up the general sort of pitch of all the strings on the guitar to make it seem like kind of nice and bright and shimmery. And it does sort of get away from the range that should I say Jeff Buckley was in throughout this performance. And niches the guitar against the vocals in a way that's very satisfying in the frequency spectrum. Although to be fair, you know, Jeff did go between the lows and highs fairly sort of like flawlessly. It was the way that we had that triplet movement pushing forward with the guitars alongside the occasional fingerpick pass with the thumb and other fingers coming in to form chords without strumming them. And there was little bits of ornamentation as well with hammer-on sort of pull-off passages there where we kind of knew not just to have again the rhythm of the triplets rhythm with those triads, but also extend beyond that. There was variation with the speed of the fingerpick pass as well. It wasn't all the same speed the entire time. It was sort of a tempo, free form, to stick with whatever Jeff Buckley was doing. We just wanted to do more with it than what was already present and again make it our own. It was nice to have the unpredictable chord patterns we had at halfway that again were mirrored or kind of hinted at the start, showing a little bit sort of like uncertainty and unease with the situation, not just vocally but also in regards to the actual guitar performance. And yeah, honestly, I've got no real complaints about the way it was played. Clearly a great guitarist, very good at adapting the intensity and coloration of the guitar parts to the vocals. And it's just a really solid effort all around with a great chemistry to it. We needed no more than just simply this musician on stage to capture the entire audience's attention, and it was a very good cover. The motif itself, it flows off of, I think, the traditional sort of expectations of maybe music as well, songwriting at that point in time that it was written, as well as religion and sort of belief systems, and it's kind of questioning those sort of faiths and traditions, those standard things, and sort of trying to gauge whether or not they still count or are still meaningful or helpful. And it's nice to have that introspection and critical thinking involved in a track where, it's really important to be able to sort of like figure that stuff out, you know? I think that, again, we moved away from those nice, happy, sort of cheery chords there to get to a bit of discomfort, and that was another way that Jeff Buckley made it their own by going a bit more literal with the kind of, I've said it a few times now, but aside from that, very loyal to the original, palatable, followed the fundamentals of music theory and composition, and went beyond it. The studio recording, mixing and mastering, it was Jeff Buckley on stage. It was a solid live take, the vocals were handled well, it was very intimate. I guess I've said a lot of times, I'm repeating words. The live vocals had a great dynamic range to them. They weren't just the same loudness all the time. Guitars and vocal came down. Sometimes they went up. And there was a nice sort of natural flow between those different peaks and troughs. The music was nice and wide in the headphones, even though it was one guitar, I presume in mono alongside the vocals, which again was nice that they niched with the capo on the guitar. And it was nice and loud without pumping, so the bus compression limiting was handled. They just captured the take really eloquently. And I think this is my review of this song from an act named Jeff Buckley, their cover of the track Hallelujah, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via the various social medias and YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as either help more than ever thought of crazy stuff going on in the world, and I'll catch you in the next SC Patrons video. Spiderhands out.